Hello, in this video I'm going to go over a couple more things on the night market. Now that I've unlocked some things, I can kind of go over in the game and show you guys what this is all about in case you've not obtained this stuff. I'm actually inside the house that you can earn for this event. This is called the Knight's Den. I've put a couple of things out here with just my vendors inside these little booths and my furnishing coffer. Really quickly, I can kind of show you a couple of things that I've dug up from the night market. There's the bearer of the Fargrave. Actually, I will just show you in the Antiquities. Everything is dug up in Cold Harbor. So if you go to Cold Harbor and go towards the bottom, there's the Shattering Paths Signet. That mythic is dropping in the night market, and then you also can get the Valenwood skull blocks, as well as a new statue, an Imperial Titan Slayer, and the Bearer of Fargrave Broken Skull. These are all very large items. At least these, the Bearer of the Broken Skull is rather large. But to go over the night market house here, when you first walk in, you can enter the night market by going out the front door. So this might be a good idea to put on your guild so that you can create a quick jump in point for people. Maybe you can group up with guildies in a guild house like this, and then just everybody walk out the door. Who knows? My recommendation would be to group up before you go in there, and then once you're in there, if you wanted to run the Pale Order ring, ungroup once you're in the instance. That way everybody's in the same instance. And then you can travel to each other once you're in there, and it'll keep you in the same instance that way. If you're not grouped up, if you're grouped up, then that shouldn't be a problem. But when you get in here to the main house here, it opens up into this little bit bigger of an area here. There's a little small room here on the bottom with some furnishings and a fireplace. When you go upstairs, there's two things to look for. One, the unlockables that you get, and then this room here is the bank vault area. This is just kind of a pile of gold here, not really anything. It's just something to look at. But there's the vault, the bank safe here. In order to access this, you have to earn 5,000 favor from your faction to unlock this. Then you'll be able to access a bank, as well as be able to access guild banks as well. So that's a nice feature once you unlock that. So the next thing I'm going to show you upstairs is how you unlock the wings. You get the collectibles here, like this grapple hook gauntlets thing, and then also the fan from the skittering, or excuse me, this is from the Parch. The skittering is the gauntlet, and then the Sorrow's friend is the lantern. And so how you get those, I'll go over that too in just a minute. But I just wanted to clarify for people who are kind of worried about this. Unlocking these, you don't really get that much more of in the house. As you can see, there's the rooms right there. And I'll just go into this one here and I'll show you. It's really not that much of an addition. I'll go into the other two as well. These are not huge additions that you're missing out on. So if you don't get these in the first night market, you're not really losing out on a massive amount of space. It's not like it's a huge wing that it unlocks. I think the house in Elsewhere has probably bigger areas, but these are, as you can see, I mean, it's nice to have, but they're not huge areas to unlock. So it's not a massive disappointment if you don't get them. I would think, honestly, in my opinion, it's more beneficial to have these mementos in order to get around the night market easier than it is to get these expansions in the house. That's just my opinion. I'm not that really into housing as much, but I'm going to go into the night market zone here. And I'm going to go over a couple of different things now that I've kind of ran this a little bit. I've learned a lot more than I initially did. So what we're going to talk about now is, as you can see on the screen up there in the top right-hand corner, we have the menu that shows the active night market standings. This is on PlayStation North America, so yours may look different if you're on Xbox PC or on a European server or whatnot. But if you look in the top there, there's a menu that's a prompt that says right directional pad and circle. I'm going to go over that because I think it's extremely helpful to use and know. And what that does is it brings up this menu right here. This shows you the bosses. These are all the Argent bosses in the zones. And then these are the dungeons. And then this top one is the trial. And so what I'm going to talk about here is we'll go into the zone here in just a minute to kind of give a really quick overlay. But if you want to access the dungeons, you have to see, as you can see, I have all of the keys. You have to beat these two Argent bosses to get the key to go into this dungeon. You have to beat these two Argent bosses to get to the key to go into this dungeon. So I'm not 100% sure that there's a benefit in doing these multiple times. It's basically just one boss fight, and I think it's kind of a do it, get the achievement done, and then you can just farm the rest of the zone. I could be wrong on that. Maybe there's something else that drops from this, but it really doesn't benefit to go in here a bunch of times, I don't think. Like I say, get the achievement, obviously, but from what I can tell, farming the actual area is probably more beneficial. You earn more opportunities for the favors, the missions and stuff that you can get. But there's also another menu in here, the scorecard. If you, like on PlayStation, it's hit the triangle button, and this will give you an overview here of the map. As you can see, it gives you the headers of the factions where they're standing. But this is also a really important thing. This tells you when the Skittering boss is going to launch. And as you can see, the Skittering boss here is starting soon in the skirmish. So I'll go into the skirmish here so we can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Yeah, so the Skittering is where we're going to go. And I'll cover the bosses here once we get in. So as you can see, these are two brazen bosses. So you'd have to kill both of these bosses for this section's Argent boss to show up. And then this Skittering, you can see almost like a dolmen going off. You can see the icon is activated. That means your skirmish is active. So I'll go over how to get the Momentos here in just a minute. But this is the Calamitous roaming boss. So you want to make sure if you're trying to take one of these out, you may want to have a strategic plan for avoiding this when it comes through. It can be kind of a problem if you stack the Calamitous on top of what you're doing. So keep an eye for that. But if you do these two brazen bosses, then the Argent boss will spawn, and it has its own area. It's over here. And another way you can look up where they go is when you bring up this menu here where the bosses are. If you see on the very bottom, there's usually a button that you can view them on the map. Because I have the keys and I have not consumed the keys, it's not going to show that right now. But there's a button to show on the map. I believe that one goes over here. And then for this upward area, there's an area up here, I believe. And so this one over here would be good to beat if you're wanting to get an Argent boss out over here. So then you could attack the Argent boss. And again, once you get the two Argent bosses done, then you can get the dungeon key and do the dungeon. And so that's how you get access to all of that stuff. I know I kind of didn't cover that very well in the first video that I did, but we're going to run over here to the Skittering that's active and just take a look at that, because these are kind of the largest things to do in the night market zone itself, not in the dungeon or the trial. But the skirmishes are fairly large events. They have a lot of ads that come out. The bosses, I think, have like right around 34 million health, so they're kind of comparable to the Calamitous boss has, I think, around 32 million health or so. The Argents are usually around 25, and then the Brazens are around 9. So that's kind of the scale. But basically, what you need to do in order to get the Mementos to travel around faster is you need to beat the all of the Argent bosses in a zone, all the Brazens, and then also the Skirmish. Once you do that, you'll gain the Memento, as well as if you go into the achievements here, go into the Night Market, there are listings here that will tell you what you need to do in order to obtain, and they are down here in the exploration. So for the fan, or I should say the Windglass, you can check off everything here, and when you do get it, you get the Memento and you get a furnishing coffer. And so then also when you get the Grapple, there's another section here that shows all of the things that you've got to do to get that. And you also get the Memento and another furnishing coffer, and then there's the lantern. So very easy to keep track of this. Just go to the exploration and find these right here and check what you're missing, and then try and focus on those. Maybe ask your guildmates if you want to work on together. You don't have to be a part of the same faction in order to work on this. It doesn't matter what faction you guys are loyal to. Everybody just works on their own faction. It doesn't matter if you're grouped or not. You basically you just get to do your own thing. So this right here is the Brazen boss for this area. So I'm just going to try and slip by here so that we can take a look at the skittering. And I triggered combat, but this is the skittering over here in the middle. And so what you have to do for this one to get the boss to come out, it's very much like Cradle of Shadows. You walk over here to this brazier and you throw coals at the little spiders. There are also spiders that come out much like in the Maelstrom Arena that will come and try to, like this guy right here. He's going to try and web this brazier and shut it down. That's what they do. And as you can see, there's a lot of piles to go. There's a progress bar on the right that shows you how many percentage of hot coals. And you can see this one right here got covered up by a spider. There's the Calamitous boss right there walking the other direction. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want to uncover the webs, you have to hit the button to undo this here like this. And of course, there are things to interrupt you. But once you get past this, then that will eventually launch the main boss. It's easier to do these skitterings with a large group. And so keep that in mind. Once you get this uncovered, you can throw fire again. And it's kind of not really worth taking on this if you're solo. Again, you're not going to get much done if you're just by yourself. This is a really difficult task to do by yourself. What I'm talking about doing in this video mainly is running around getting the achievement done so that you can get the memento, and then that gives you the ability to move around a lot quicker in the night market if you're wanting to just focus on the side quests and the dailies inside of here. Let me run over here. There's a post up here that I can grapple up to. This will show you how easy this is. You can grapple up and get out of the way, and this helps you traverse the area a lot better. You can grapple hook over across up to a lot of different areas. If you're trying to get to a certain brazen boss, you can do it that easily rather than just having to run past a bunch of mobs. Once you get up top here, they kind of deactivate chasing you, and then you can get around and reset if you need to. If you're running around with people and you know who they are, you can travel to them by going into the journal. Of course, you don't want to be in combat when that happens, but you go into the, like for example, if you're running in a guild and you're running with guildmates, you can just travel to them. It'll take you out to the lobby, and then you won't have to lose out on being in a different instance. Just make sure you travel with to whoever you're running with, and that should help keep you in the instance. So there's a book here to read. There's some extra stuff up here. But like I said, this really helps jumping around easy. If you have the memento, this speeds up moving around a lot, and then it's going to make it a lot easier to get the dailies done, get your faction favor up, working on quests. The side quests in here are a little bit of a pain to pick up. As you can see, there's one right here next to some enemies. So what you could do is drop down like this, get the mission like that, and then grapple up and out of the way, and then you've got your mission. Another thing about in here in the night market that I'll mention, if you aggro a little mob like that, I'll run over here and I'll show this. You don't have to kill these guys. Basically, they've got a leashing point that they run back to. I'll just run through here real quickly and show you. When you run away from an area, I'll just turn around and we'll see how far away I can get before they leash back. They basically give up. As you can see, they give up and turn around and go back to where they were. So if you do aggro something, I would just suggest keep running and you can get away from them. You don't necessarily have to kill everybody that you encounter. And then once you get these mementos, you can, as you can see here, you can really just buzz around and get a lot of stuff done pretty easily by using the grapple hooks or the fans or whatnot. Some of these are a little bit of a pain to figure out where they're at because they don't highlight on the map or on your screen until you're right on top of them. So I'm just going to let these guys kill me real quickly so that I can go back to the way shrine. And then we'll go right back out to the lobby here. Basically, I just wanted to do another video to kind of drill down a little bit more on what to do in the night market because I know that some of the stuff was not really well explained when they brought this out, and the mobs are kind of hard for some people to do. But I wanted to highlight how to get those mementos so that it speeds up your stuff. But the main thing is there's a lot of quests that you can do without having to be in a massive group. You can just kind of zip around a lot easier when you have the mementos. Make sure you pick up all your quests and gain the favor, and then you'll be able to go into your factions vendor and purchase the available stuff from the merchant. Probably one of the biggest things that you can buy here. There's style pages, and then there are new monster sets here as well, but you have to get up to 10,000 favor in order to do that. And then there are some furnishings as well to buy. Also, part of those achievements for the Mementos, I would recommend coming and buying these particles here. That's going to help you as well. I know there is a random drop. I got them pretty easily in my coffer, so just wanted to do a quick overview. I would suggest when you first come in for the day, come over to your faction leader, pick up their quest like this, go out to the main lobby out here, pick up all the quests that you can available for all of the available missions that are in this main lobby, and then start on one of the areas, either the Skittering, the Sorrow's Friend, or the Parch. Pick one to see what your group is missing or needing, and then come in there. And anytime you walk past one of the missions, pick them up. You never know when you're going to walk past stuff and be able to complete a lot of side quests while you're in there, and that'll help you gain your favor quite a bit. I've played maybe 3 or 4 days so far, some of them quite long sessions, so it's a little hard to earn the favor, but you do get buffs in there after killing certain things. So keep that in mind as well. They've kind of integrated a little bit of the Infinite Archive buffs. I've seen werewolf transformations and things like that. I've even gotten the Flame Aura skill on one of my characters the other day. That was kind of a neat thing to have. But give it a try. I know it's a lot harder than a lot of people thought, but if you kind of get those mementos, it helps move around in the zones a lot easier, and it should help get the side quests done in a lot easier fashion. But I'm going to end the video here. If you thought this video was interesting or helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If you want to go to my channel and find all of my other content, I have over 300 videos on the Elder Scrolls Online. They're organized by created playlists. If you go to my YouTube channel, go down to the created playlists, and I have everything organized by subject there. Check them out, see if there's anything else you'd be interested in. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.